Harry Evans shouldn't have survived. That's not an exaggeration. It's a direct quote from the very people who found him. A man walking alone for 64 kilometers through the blistering, unforgiving landscape of Death Valley. He had no water, no shade, and when they finally reached him, his body temperature was nearing a fatal level. The park rangers, seasoned veterans of this harsh environment, were baffled. They said he should have died a full day earlier. But somehow he didn't. He just kept walking. This is the story of an impossible walk, a testament to human endurance that defies all logic and medical science. What drove a man to push his body so far beyond its absolute limits? What was he thinking, feeling, as he traversed one of the most hostile places on Earth, with every step bringing him closer to death, yet somehow further away from it? To understand the sheer insanity of this feat, you first need to understand Death Valley. It's a place of extremes. It holds the record for the highest air temperature ever recorded on Earth, a scorching 56.7 degrees Celsius, or 134 degrees Fahrenheit. The ground temperature can get hot enough to literally cook an egg. It's a vast, sprawling expanse of salt flats, sand dunes, and barren mountains. The name isn't just for show. It's a warning. For centuries, this valley has been a final resting place for those who underestimated its power. So who was Harry Evans? By all accounts, he was an ordinary man, not an extreme athlete, not a survivalist expert. He was a tourist in his late 40s who, like many others, wanted to see the stark beauty of Death Valley for himself. He set out on what was supposed to be a short, manageable hike from a designated parking area. He had a small bottle of water, a map, and the kind of casual confidence that so often precedes disaster in places like this. His mistake was simple, yet catastrophic. He took a wrong turn. A single misstep, a misreading of the trail, and suddenly he was no longer on a well-trodden path. He was in the wild, unforgiving heart of the valley. At first, there was probably no panic. He likely thought he could just backtrack, find his way again. He finished his small bottle of water, expecting to be back at his car soon, but soon never came. The sun climbed higher, beating down with an intensity that saps the life out of everything. The landscape, which had seemed so beautiful from a distance, became a monotonous, disorienting maze of rock and sand. By the end of the first day, his situation was dire. Dehydration would have already set in. The symptoms are brutal: extreme thirst, fatigue, dizziness, confusion. His muscles would have started cramping. Every movement would have been an effort. The rational thing to do would have been to find whatever minimal shade he could, conserve energy, and wait for rescue. But Harry Evans didn't do that. He kept walking. As night fell, the temperature dropped, offering a brief respite from the sun, but introducing a new danger: the cold of the desert night. Without proper gear, hypothermia can be a real risk. He was alone, in the dark, with the silence of the desert pressing in. It's a silence so profound it can feel like a physical weight, amplifying every fear, every doubt. Most people would have given up. Their spirit would have broken. But when the sun rose again on the second day, Harry Evans got up and he started walking again. Now, he was deep into severe dehydration. His body was shutting down. His kidneys would have been failing, unable to process waste. His skin would be dry and papery, his eyes sunken. His brain, starved of water, would have been swelling, leading to severe delirium and hallucinations. This is the point where medical experts say he should have collapsed. His heart, working overtime to pump thickening blood through his body, should have given out. He should have died right there under the relentless desert sun. This is where the story turns from a tragic survival tale into something almost unbelievable. Park rangers had been alerted that he was missing. A search and rescue operation was underway, but Death Valley is vast. Finding one man in that expanse is like finding a needle in a continent-sized haystack. They flew helicopters, scanning the terrain, knowing that with each passing hour, the chances of finding him alive were plummeting towards zero. Meanwhile, on the ground, Harry was still moving. He was no longer just walking, he was on a grim pilgrimage. What goes through a person's mind in that state? Was he hallucinating? Did he see mirages of water, of saviors on the horizon? Or was there something else? A primal, unstoppable will to live that simply refused to be extinguished? He was walking on pure, raw instinct. His conscious mind was likely long gone, replaced by a single fundamental command hardwired into his DNA: survive. He walked through the entire second day. No water, no food, no shade. The sun was his enemy. the ground a furnace. He was a ghost, a specter moving through a landscape of death. When the search helicopter finally spotted him late in the afternoon, they couldn't believe their eyes. It was a lone figure, stumbling, but still upright, still moving forward. He was 64 kilometers from where he started. The rescue was a race against time. The ranger who was lowered from the helicopter described the scene as surreal. Harry was barely coherent. His tongue was swollen, his lips cracked and bleeding. He was talking, but it was mostly gibberish. His internal body temperature was measured at a dangerously high level. A point at which vital organs begin to cook and permanent brain damage is almost certain. They immediately started emergency medical procedures, pumping him with 4 fluids, desperately trying to cool him down. In the hospital, doctors were equally astonished. They had never seen a person survive this level of prolonged heat exposure and dehydration. They ran tests, expecting to find massive organ failure, severe brain damage. But slowly, miraculously, Harry began to recover. His body, pushed to the absolute edge of existence, began to heal itself. When he was finally able to speak coherently, his story was fragmented. He remembered flashes, moments of clarity amidst a fog of delirium. He remembered thinking about his family, about getting back to them. He recalled an overwhelming, non-negotiable urge to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. It wasn't a choice anymore. It was the only thing his body knew how to do. He didn't think about the odds. He didn't think about dying. He just walked. The rangers who rescued him, the men and women who see the tragic consequences of Death Valley's power all the time, still talk about it. They call him the Miracle Man. They use his story as a cautionary tale, but also as a strange, inspiring example of what the human body is capable of. They say he shouldn't have survived the first 24 hours without water. He definitely shouldn't have survived the second. Walking for 64 kilometers under those conditions is by all scientific and medical standards impossible, but Harry Evans did it. His story isn't just about survival. It's about the mysterious, untapped reserves of strength that lie dormant within all of us. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, when faced with an impossible situation, the only thing you can do is keep moving forward, one step at a time. It challenges our understanding of human limits and proves that the will to live can sometimes be the most powerful force in the universe. So the next time you feel like you're facing an insurmountable obstacle, remember Harry Evans, remember the man who walked through death and came out the other side. His story shows us that even when logic says it's over, even when the world tells you to give up, there might just be enough strength left inside you for one more step. And sometimes one more step is all it takes. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as incredible as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales of unbelievable human spirit. See you in the next one.